Welcome to
the Becca and Ryan Show! Notice that is the tune of The Simpsons.
The Itchy and
Scratchy Show.
and actually that brings us to our point.
It does. This one's a little bit of more of a serious blog. If you notice, we haven't done a lot of Becca and Ryan. We haven't done any Becca and Ryan shows for a long time, right?
This is the last Becca and Ryan show.
Yes.
And that's a little bit sad because we've had a lot of fun on this channel. I think
have.
that we did have a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely had a lot of fun.
But I made a lot of mistakes on this channel and have learned a lot from this channel.
We both have learned so much in doing the Becca and Ryan show. Also,
and it became too much like the real Itchy and Scratchy show.
A little bit. It really did.
Not a little bit. A lot. Except for I'm going to chop you in half.
The Itchy and Scratchy show was really scary.
Don't watch that, kids.
Oh, it's on The Simpsons. Don't watch.
Bad.
So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about is now to be a little bit more serious and just to talk about why it's the last Becca and Ryan show, right?
So we started learning about boundaries and manipulation and all sorts of good things.
Healthy
that
things.
Help you grow up.
So as we've been growing and learning and growing and going on with our lives, we've saw a lot of things that were self-help things. Some of them were on Facebook, which were psychologist type things that are there.
Basically, we got therapy from multiple sources.
We got therapy and we're cured. And that's why we're not doing the Becca and Ryan show.
Seriously, that's in nutshell. Okay, bye.
That's kind of what we're actually saying.
It's true.
Oh,
it's
man.
true. I think that we. We look at the comments on almost all the videos of this channel, and it's like everybody's really defensive of Ryan.
I want to specify a lot of things too. So during the times that we were going through a lot of the Becca and Ryan shows, there was a lot of give and take that wasn't shown on camera.
We would do the video. Ryan would just sacrifice his self-respect and act like a clown.
A little bit, yeah.
And I would treat him like a clown, always making fun of him, always teasing him.
And I realized that I was the butt of the joke.
Teasing. He's
right?
always the butt of the joke. And then and then off camera I would say, "I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry." And
are
the
you
thing
okay?
is,
was that too far? And I would try to judge. And this was coming from our relationship growing up. This is just kind of how it was growing up.
And I wasn't, for me personally,
so
I wasn't
always
good.
How we were.
Yeah, I wasn't good with healthy boundaries. Meaning, I was thinking of myself, well, I may feel hurt inside and feel terrible, but it's to help the channel grow, or it's to help people to be happy. But in all reality, it was self-sacrificing, and it was hurting me.
It was hurting him a lot, and I would think, "Oh, Ryan, you know, you're trying to date people. Would you want to show them the Becca and Ryan show?" And he's like, "No," and I was like, "Why? That's so funny. Wouldn't you like that?" And he's like, "No." And I think the reason why is because how could he show someone he's
getting
dating,
hurt over and over and over again, but in a way,
I think it would show that he lacked self-respect, maybe.
Yes, in a way,
that I'm looking into it, but I that maybe how could they respect him if he wasn't respecting him?
Right. Also, along with that, I think that when it was just learning. It was learning. I think what started to happen is I started to grow a little bit of resentment towards wanting to do a little bit of a movie or videos because I realized that it did hurt. It hurt. Each time.
And I'd say, was that too far? Was that too much?
And I would justify it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it, but I know we just have to do this for, making the channel succeed or whatever. And it's like, after a while, that answer couldn't stand on its own 2 feet because it wasn't good enough, and it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth sacrificing Ryan to make a funny video.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, one of the things is I wanted to say too is we both have done a lot of growing.
We have
a lot of growing, and a lot of realizing. I mean,
and it's hard to do it in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really hard to do it when you're watching us, and I think that's why took a year off.
Now I have to say this too. Although, so we our whole lives have grown up joking around with each other, and it wasn't always like be mean to Ryan, sort of joking, right? Sometimes you think of siblings, oh, being mean, that means it's funny. No, we would go back and forth. But the thing is, what kind of kept happening with YouTube is you'd want to stay up to date. You would want to stay
with
almost
working.
go over the top to get views, to be able to.
We were constantly looking at the analytics and going, okay, what's working, what's not.
What can we do? And then we weren't thinking of our actual mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have to say this too.
And I wasn't so concerned with me. It really wasn't hurting me. It was hurting Ryan. I felt like I was enjoying it. But of course a bully's going to be enjoying. Like, they're not going to really... Mm-hmm. And I think I wasn't meaning to bully.
No.
But I think that because of the path we were going down on YouTube at the time, it was very much what are we willing to change about our life? What are we editing about our life to make sure that we can make money? And it's like, that was not the right choice for us.
Right.
And we have had to change because I can't edit the good out of my life because it's not getting views. That's not okay.
Right. Now, this may sound like a downer, especially because it's the last Becca and Ryan show, but I want to talk about a lot of other things too, and that's siblings. I know that this sounds a little bit odd, but it's really, really good to be nice to your siblings. We would always do the joking, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. You got hurt. Almost, a little bit.
I think it was like, it started kind of slapstick funny.
Yeah, slapstick funny, but it turned into...
grew into something that wasn't good.
And we don't want to have a lot of people out there...
justifying your actions because you watched us, you thought we were a good example, and we weren't being a good example.
Yeah, a little bit. But the thing is, this is what's so cool though. We're learning, we're growing, we're adults, and we're still learning and growing, right? And... what's so cool is being able to share this with you guys. You can kind of avoid a lot of the mistakes that we didn't know we were working through ourselves, right? And so please be kind to each other, and also recognize healthy boundaries, whether it means if somebody's being really, really mean to you, not to me.
No, I would.
But,
you
right?
could say I've been mean to you. I was mean to you.
Right.
I mean, I had little kids coming up and like, how dare you! And I was like, I was just pretending, like, I'm not actually like
right.
that. And which is true in real life.
This is something actually
these
that we
things
learned
to each other.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be disrespectful to him because I would see that. In fact, I started to see this in real life, that if anybody ever saw us in real life, they would pick a side, and sometimes they'd pick my side and want to tease him. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my brother.
Right.
I'm protective of my brother, but how can I tell myself, oh, it's my brother. I'm allowed to hurt my brother. No, I can't do that. That's wrong. Like, and I started to see other people want to tease you the way that I was teasing you, and it was like, this isn't working because I'm creating something that is bad for him, like really bad.
But also bad for viewers because it's
not a good example.
It's not good to take one side or the other. I want to talk a little bit about self-respect, right? Why self-respect is so important. It's really, really good to be able to be turn the other cheek, to be kind, but also to not let people walk all over you, right? Because in many ways I thought, oh, I'll just take it. But then it was hurting me so much internally. But being able to talk and express it and not hide it is so very important. I was afraid of hurting feelings when my feelings were getting hurt.
Which
now I want
you
to talk.
need to not worry about that.
Right. So I have to say something that happened. So it was a year later. This is a year later in posting this. We actually had a time where both of us were on the phone crying because we realized what had actually happened. And Becca was talking about how a little kid came up to her and she's like, "You're so mean," to Becca, and she said, "No, I'm not." But then she's like, kids know the truth a lot of the time, you know, and she felt so horrible, you know, and we both were suffering in silence in a way. She was suffering because she felt so bad.
Yeah.
And I was suffering because I had taken it and not said anything.
The one thing that hurts the most is that I hurt him.
And we really do love each other.
We do, and that's what makes this great. I think that makes this channel great because we do love each other so much and we have such a close relationship, but we messed up. I messed up. And I don't want to leave
you though.
You learned how to respect yourself, but only through getting the brunt of it. You learned how to not be hurt anymore because you were hurt. You wouldn't have learned it if you weren't keeping getting hurt by me. And the bottom line is, the Becca and Ryan Show can never be what it was, and
right.
That is a good thing.
It is a very good thing.
It's a sad thing because we did have a lot of fun and there was a lot of good things that happened, but there was a lot of things that we did not know and that we had to learn the hard way. And if we had not cared so much about you guys, we would have just left it at that.
Yeah.
But in order to, I feel, heal from the mistakes that I made, and
same with me.
I think we had to make this video in order to tell you guys what has changed and why. There's a reason behind it. We would never just stop doing the Becca and Ryan Show for nothing. This is a really big reason to us, and it could help somebody else by sharing our experience, so that's why we're talking about it right now, not just leaving it at the last video that was posted.
And I want to specify this too, because you're saying you're so much the bad guy, but at the time, this is really, I remember one time Becca was having like a hard day, and I actually said, I was even suggesting ways of in essence making me the butt of the joke.
We planned it.
We planned them, and but I really didn't realize for myself, in a way, what I was even doing, right?
Well, if you see, oh, this will help you feel better, just kill me. It'll make you feel better.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible.
But that's what you were doing.
Kind of.
And that's what I was doing.
That's like to the nth power, but yes, that's in a way what was happening.
And also, there were some things that we did on camera that we were like, that was totally fake. Like,
yes.
I never would have done that to you.
I keep on thinking of the Christmas tree episode. Right? I actually suggested.
So at the end of, this was actually on the beach house.
It?
It was, we called it the Becca and Ryan Show. We started it on the beach house.
That's right.
I wrapped him up like a Christmas tree with lights and ornaments and in the wrong places. And all sorts of things that made him, the butt of the joke.
But I had those big ornaments.
Said we were going to do it to each other, but I actually wasn't feeling good, and I think I was pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant.
You were pregnant at the time.
And I couldn't.
And
I had been standing up doing it to him so long that I was like, I can't do it. I can't have him do it to me. I will faint.
So the thought process was really interesting. At first, we were just going to make Christmas trees out of each other.
Yep.
And we did even set it up that way. And then Becca was feeling really, really sick. And so I suggested, well, why don't we hold true to the Becca and Ryan tendency where...
This was before it was even developed.
That's true. We were still developing it. And it kind of started us off possibly on the wrong foot because of it. But
he's like, oh, you can't do it? Okay.
Just make it look like...
You left the room.
You left the room, and then we never did my side.
You never came back.
And then
you're
we
like
did do
wrapped
that.
up in a Christmas tree. Or
Oh,
you
also...
can't move, and you're like, help me!
We edited it, but they totally flipped on the light, and they're like, are you okay afterwards?
Yeah, we never even left the room.
Yeah. It made it look like they left me there as a Christmas tree
but
in
I
that
would say
corner.
that's the type of thing that we did all the time.
And also...
And if you believed that it's true, you would believe that I'm...
a horrible person.
But also we made it look like that all the time. And,
we did.
And I did do things that were crossing the line because of that.
We talked about that. There were so many times after some of them where I remember we were laughing, we thought it was funny, and then we turn off the cameras and Becca would be like, are you okay, Ryan? I feel like I went too far with that. And we would talk about it, and it's like, yeah, we need to tone it down and maybe not go this far.
I think we even told them that once. I think we told them that
Did
once. But I think the reason why we told them that was because we felt a need to explain, oh, it's not as bad as it seems.
Yeah, we were kind of justifying too.
We were trying to be like, this is
yeah.
wrong.
I want to specify this too.
We were recognizing it all the way back then.
So at the time, I'm going to talk a little bit about things that we normally don't talk about, and that's money making on YouTube, right? At the time, we were struggling a little bit, and we were really just trying to follow the trends, follow the
analytics,
get quick laughs, but it was at the sacrifice of mental health, and that's never the answer. Mm-hmm. Remember that it's so very important to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, right?
And if you are in a place where you have a toxic relationship or friendship with somebody, you do need to take a step back or go away from that person. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was being a toxic person to him, even if we had planned it that way. And the thing is, even if it was planned, that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it justified. And it was never justified. And that's why he automatically took a step back. And I was like, hey, you want to film the Becca and Ryan show? He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe next time, you know. And
yeah, but it was
after
because
a while, it
was hurting more and more and more and more. And when something hurts, you go away from it, right?
Yeah.
And but this is good. This is a very good thing.
It is good.
And I think if you go back through the movie videos and you watch them again, think how much we learned. Yeah. I think that would be really the best thing to know, you know?
It's good for us to, I was even thinking maybe before we filmed this video, I would want to go back and look at the videos and just to recognize how much I've changed on the inside, how much he's changed on the inside, and how much we don't agree with the actions that were taken on the show anymore. And so we can't continue it.
We still are awesome towards each other. We really are. And we love each other so much.
You have no idea how much, even just you going like that, I wanted to do something weird like that.
I know, but at the same time,
that is part of our friendship.
It is.
Part of our relationship. But
okay, this is what she would have done.
Is not.
No. Hold on. Okay, I think that you would have done this. I'm you.
Right?
Okay.
Let's do it again. This is what I would have done.
Okay. Only my wife. Oh, they don't know.
He's married. That's another thing that happened
and she's so amazing. You really are. I love you so much. And I have to show you the ring.
It's really cool.
Now that is what I call a wedding ring. Yeah! If you recognize. Some
That's
of you
cool.
may recognize the actual symbols on it, but...
And I think that actually has been... I think that for a long time, relationship-wise, you struggled. Like, and you were struggling relationship-wise because you probably didn't have a good relationship with yourself.
Actually, yes. I think in many, many ways. Because, again, it's learning self-respect. A little bit, it's learning good boundaries. It's learning... And I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm still constantly learning, right?
Nobody does.
But look at this. We're adults. And yet we're still learning. So, if ever parents are hard on you, or even you're hard on yourself, remember, even a woman or man that's 98 years old still is learning. Because they forgot.
And learning.
That was I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, it's true.
But it's true, right? Everybody's still learning. And so I think another really, really important thing to realize is not only can there be external forces, right, that can be hard on you, your worst critic can be yourself. So, remember, you're still learning, and I'm still learning, and don't put yourself down. Putting yourself down only makes you feel worse.
And we are better off for being done with the Becca and Ryan Show.
Yeah.
And we have probably the best relationship we've ever had.
Up to this point, yeah.
You know, we've learned so much, and we are not going to hurt each other.
Yep.
Or try. I mean, we'll definitely try not to. I think that it takes time to change, but we're going to do what we can.
We both found ourselves crying because we didn't mean to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Because we love each other so much as siblings that we didn't want to hurt each other, and we realized that we did. And we kind of didn't recognize it.
And we are better off for being done.
Yep.
With this, and it actually feels good to me to say this channel is the Becca and Ryan Show is over. Mm-hmm. And I cried a lot when we finally came to that conclusion. I just cried and cried because it was like, it feels like a chapter of our life that was so good and hard. Sometimes hard things, even when they end, can feel sad because you learned so much from that. And I appreciate it. I am so grateful for it because it's changed me for the better.
And me too.
I will never make that mistake again, or I will try to never make that mistake again of hurting people when I really didn't want to. I didn't mean to hurt him. And I think I knew subconsciously whenever I would ask you, did that hurt you? And you're like, no. I think I knew that it actually had subconsciously, and now looking back, I can see. Oh, of course. Why would I have even asked that in the first place if I didn't pick up on some kind of pain? Mm-hmm. But also, we still like to be around each other.
Oh yeah. We still love to be around each other.
It's still fun, but we're learning how to do it in a healthy way.
This is what's cool too. Being able to say no to certain things too is so very important. I remember my sister asked me if I would be willing to do something, and I actually wound up saying no. And she at first she's like, well, this puts a lot more pressure on me, but I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Because we've realized, right, we're growing and
proud of him for saying, that's probably not something I want to do, and sticking with it and not feeling pressured to do something he didn't want to do. And what I'm learning is that I grew up with the mindset of, oh, I know just the right thing to say to make him do something.
A lot of kids do know that.
But I was also his best friend, and so I wasn't trying to hurt him when I would say, oh, I think I know how to, convince him.
Please don't. Also, please don't, if you do know things like that, please don't ever manipulate somebody on purpose.
And I learned that was manipulating. I didn't have a name for it. I just thought, oh, I know what to say to help him agree with me. or help me with this thing. And now I'm like, oh, I was totally manipulating him and doing what I felt was like forcing him. Or I didn't think I was forcing him because he always had a choice, but manipulating is a real thing, and I was doing that a lot. And now I see it and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I need to be okay on the inside. If I don't get the answer that I want from somebody, I need to be able to learn how to sit with the discomfort of someone telling me no, or even somebody not liking me, or somebody not doing what I want. That's my problem and not theirs. I don't need to force my opinion on them. I don't need to force them to change to make me feel comfortable. I need to be okay with the people around me having a completely different opinion than me, or doing things completely different that I wouldn't agree with. And that's a big lesson that I am learning, even with my own kids, that everyone gets to choose for themselves. And we need to respect when other people say that they have a different opinion or they want to do something else. And we need to not try to force them to do what we want them to do.
Some are more soft-spoken than others. And some of them, with a lot of prodding, they probably really don't want to do that thing.
Yeah.
But they'll cave in.
That's you.
And that was me a year ago, or a few years ago.
Soft-spoken, and he's so worried about hurting another person's feelings that he is willing to feel so much pain himself to avoid causing pain for someone else. And you're right, it's changed, and that is good. That is very good.
All right. Now, if you sat through it up to this point,
good job.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Gold star.
You must really like us. But I also want to say this. As dumb as it may sound, and even though the channels are stopping from this point on, we do love you as an audience. And I know that sounds hokey.
No, it sounds good because they've made this what it was. We wouldn't have been able to continue doing this without you guys.
And this may seem really interesting, but we would go through comments and just read them and laugh
so hard
and stuff with the whole family.
Yeah.
And
some of the Becca and Ryan shows I still think are the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, and there was definite mistakes made, and there was things I shouldn't have done.
But it wasn't all of them like that.
But not all of them, and I still think that a lot of what is in the Becca and Ryan show really represents how much we love each other and how much fun we have together.
Yes.
It's not all bad.
Yeah, on that note, I wanted to say this too. There was a time when Becca was actually like, she felt so bad, she's like, I almost just wanted to delete all the videos. And when we talked through it, and we actually said, no, let's keep them for this reason, so that we can share with you what we've learned,
this video
and
right
you
now
can see the process of what happened to get to this point. Because that's a really big thing that can help anybody.
And something else I do have to say is that I'm not going to condemn my past self for not knowing these things, because I, at the time, really felt like I am doing the best that I know how. And I have learned so much since then. And I will not make the same choices that I made then. But I've done a lot of growing on YouTube. There are some videos, even on the beach house, that I almost can't even watch because I feel like I am such a different person now. I'm so critical.
Me too.
I'm so critical of my past self. And I think that can become harmful too, and what I need to do is just respect the process that I've had to go through on camera and recognize that I probably disagree with a lot of the things that I used to say and a lot of the things that I used to do. But I am grateful to my old self because I can recognize that person is who got me to here. And it's just part of
learning,
growing up.
Growing
and I can't hate and loathe my old self I need to respect the process and just change from here.
And me too.
So that's why we're here doing this
Becca,
right
you're
now.
so eloquent at explaining yourself in how you felt so bad. But I made mistakes too.
We both
Right.
didn't know better. We both didn't know better, and we were coming
Yeah.
from our, childhood.
But
Just big kids ourselves, acting like babies.
I remember that. I totally remember that.
Okay, that one is one of my favorite ones of all time. But mostly, it wasn't so much that I was teasing him, but I was enjoying acting like a baby.
She had kids at the time, right?
It was kind of nice to be a kid for once and be the one that didn't have to be so responsible.
It was terrible. And I can admit it. Because I was like, I feel like I know she's an adult, but she won't act like it. Right. Which actually made that quite funny. But at the same
It
time.
kind of makes me want to stop filming and go watch it right now.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite ones.
But we learned so much. And it's so healthy and so good. And our relationship's the best it's ever been.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the most respectful.
The most respectful and
that's good. It is
great.
good. It's a good process, and we're
Yep.
learning and we're growing, and we get to do that, which means that we also get to stop something that might be bad for us, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you know what?
It's like it really is like a huge relief off our shoulders.
It's been weighing on my mind heavily because we have this channel that we both love, and we love the good things that have happened on the channel.
Right.
And we didn't want to just leave you hanging so that you're like, well, when are you going to film a Becca and Ryan show?
Right.
We've heard that for a long time, and I think that it's good to finally say, actually, we're not going to anymore, and just be done, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
we have the good memories.
I still want to do things that are fun, and I think that it's good that we're taking time away from each other too, because I think when we get back together, I think we are redefining how we interact with each other
as adults,
and we have to do that to learn how to respect one another, and me respect you, and you stand up for yourself and boundaries.
And respect.
And so it's like a long process. It's not a short like, okay, snap your fingers and now I know exactly what to do. So we're doing that off camera because it wouldn't look familiar to you. It's not familiar to us.
Yes.
It's different and uncomfortable to interact differently, but we have to. We're learning and we're improving, so we're going to do that.
Now, all that being said, one more thing we can say our sorries. I'm sorry.
Are you trying to force me to say no? I'm just kidding. I am sorry.
And I wanted to say, I was wanting to say, I accept your apology. But you're like, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry.
I am sorry.
But we've already talked about
We've done
this.
this off camera, but we'll do it on camera for you. I am so sorry.
And I'm sorry too. I love you so much.
You mean
But not
thank you?
as much as my wife. Oh wait,
that's weird.
I really love my wife. My
you
life
make things
and my life.
awkward sometimes.
I love my life and my wife.
Good. Yeah, and we're going down, I've moved to Missouri, he got married, a lot of things are different, and a lot of things are good, and we're reestablishing just who we are.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
We're good, and I am sorry, I have hurt you a lot, and I didn't want to hurt you, and I think that's the biggest takeaway is like, I think in order to not hurt you, I had to change.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We both learned, we both grown, and it's great. It's good. And now...
That's a good older brother thing for you to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we're the same age, and then every now and then I'm like, no, we're not.
I'm older.
He's older. Good job being a big older brother.
Sometimes I look to you and
Big.
hey!
Just kidding.
This is kind of interesting.
I'm
Sometimes I've
cheesy.
looked to you.
This is what I need
and-
to stop doing.
Sometimes I've looked to you and I've been like, wait, I am older. But now for the thing you've all been probably waiting for, right?
Sure.
Who is the man behind the camera? Yeah?
That's what everybody's been waiting for.
Ta-da! Right here! Here he is!
Weird.
That is weird. They don't realize that there's a chair that's... That probably looked really weird. Can we show your face? No!
He's the hidden, not known, apparently.
Okay.
We probably have talked about him all the time.
His name's...
Fred.
What's that name from Tool Time? That one guy. What's it?
Wilson.
Wilson?
No.
The one that looks on.
Neighbor. Is it Wilson? Wilson!
Wilson. His name's Wilson. Wilson. No, in all reality, if you want to know who it truly is,
Go to the beach house.
And that will tell you who it really is. The man behind the camera is her husband.
I think they all knew that.
You're probably right.
I think they all knew that.
Well, there's the reveal.
Alright.
Anyways, it's been
Thank
great.
you guys for watching the last episode of The
Becca
and Ryan Show!
So long, folks.
Bye.